Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline with She Writes Studios, and I am so honored to welcome you to today's very special author celebration with the courageous and compassionate Emily Cleghorn and her new powerful book, Breaking Free, now available in both ebook and paperback on Amazon. This book is more than just pages, it's a lifeline. Breaking Free, Parenting While Healing from Childhood Trauma is written to every for every mama out there who's ever asked, am I too broken to get this right? Hi, Emily. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jacqueline. Thanks for having me.
You're very well. We are. It's an honor to have you today. And to start us off, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, just beyond the author bio that we are able to read, and what had inspired you to write Breaking Free?
Well, I am the founder of Mamahood After Trauma. And, Mamahood After Trauma, Breaking Free, everything that I do um, was born out of my own personal struggle and my own healing
Mm-hmm.
journey. Um, I am a trauma survivor. I
Mm-hmm.
live with complex PTSD, and it wasn't until I became a mama that I was made very aware very quickly of how much healing work I needed to do because I didn't want to hand off the childhood that I had on my kids. So
Right.
it's it's a passion project. Um, I I really call my business a ministry because it's not about me, it's not about making money, it's about making an impact and helping other mamas like me because I know I'm not the only mama who is dealing with trauma recovery in the midst of parenting, giving them the tools that I looked for um, and couldn't find.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you see a need and you can do something about it, that's what I believe and that's what I'm doing. So that's that's my why as to why I've written Breaking Free. And Breaking Free specifically is the book that I wish I could have had my hands on in those really early days when both of my kids were
Mm-hmm.
really, really little, and I was in the thick of the overwhelm and trying to understand why I was so overwhelmed and what was causing it and how to get out of it. um, so really pulling back the curtain and helping mamas understand that, sure, you may feel overwhelmed right now, but there is healing that you can access. And here are the tools that you need to do it.
Wonderful. And you did mention about tools, but this book, you described this book to be more than just a tool. It's actually a lifeline. What
Yeah.
did you needed the most during your own healing journey that you now offer to other mamas through this
The thing that I needed the most was community. And
book?
I think with mamahood after trauma as a whole, this book, my podcast, and my other book, and my coaching program, all of those things work together to create a community of healing for mamas. And so often your trauma will tell you that you're the only one dealing with whatever your situation may be, but that
Mm-hmm.
is not true. And so often, if you have the right community, keyword right, the correct community, then you are more likely to stick it through on your own healing journey when things get tough because it
Mm-hmm.
will. It will get tough. Um, and so having that community is crucial. and that's what I am building.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And that is true. Just the mere, fact that you have people backing you through your journey
Mhm.
is already a lot of help. And now, let's talk about mended mama method. You mentioned this. Can you walk us through what that framework looks like and how it supports healing and parenting?
Yeah, so the mended mama method um, is exactly the framework that breaking free is built upon. So
Mm,
um, it's there are four pillars within the concept. The first pillar of that is building your trigger toolbox. And really, even before building your trigger toolbox, you need to become aware of what your triggers are, how they show up in your body, how emotions show up in your body, and understanding what's going on there. Because for so many of us, our lives are so fast paced. And as trauma survivors, we've numbed out because that's what's safe.
mhm,
And so building that self awareness muscle is huge. And once you have that awareness, then you can develop your personalized trigger toolkit, which are coping skills, healthy coping skills, instead of numbing out, instead of
mhm,
um, people pleasing or exploding every time something happens and screaming your head off. You've got tools that help you come back to calm, and you become a model for your kids and help them to understand how to navigate their big feelings, because they've got big feelings too, and they're just learning how to handle them as well. So if you can
yeah,
be a positive role model for your kids, sure, triggers are going to happen. Sure, they might get the best of you every now and then, but if you've got the tools and you're working consistently at practicing those, then eventually you're going to be able to keep your calm in a situation that was once triggering, that you once
wonderful, wonderful.
couldn't keep your calm.
Right. And that's actually very interesting. And on this particular book, you mentioned moving from survival mode to intentional connected parenting.
Mhm.
Can you talk us through the difference between these two concepts?
So if you are living in the zone of survival mode, then your parenting style is going to be very reactive.
Mm,
And it's going to be driven by your stress response, whatever your stress response tends to default to, whether you're um, living in flight mode, fight mode, fawn mode, or freeze mode, because you can live in them if you've been in them long enough. Um,
mm,
you're going to be in reacting or avoiding survival mode. When you move out of that reacting survival zone and you move into connective, responsive parenting, then you're able to help your kids understand how to navigate challenging life situations that come up every day, because that's life, um, without losing your ever loving mind, or without
mhm,
avoiding or people pleasing or zoning out, numbing out. And your connection with your kids, when you make that shift, it's not going to happen overnight. First of all, I want to say that because I want people to understand that this isn't a quick fix.
yeah.
Um, your connection with your kids, you're going to go from your kids walking on eggshells around you,
Mhm,
being a little bit scared because they don't know when mom's going to lose her cool,
Mm-hmm.
when things are going to get rocky, to, oh wait, mama's my safe place. And that type of connection, connecting from mommy's my safe place, mommy's got mommy knows how to keep her calm, and I can rely on her to help me to regulate my emotions, is huge. It's powerful. It has the ability to completely change your household environment.
Mm. That's a wonderful insight. You mentioned that the very first thing that we need to accomplish is to make sure that we as mamas um, become the safe place for
Mhm.
our kids. What would you say to the mamas out there, watching this right now who feels overwhelmed and ashamed or is just so afraid and freaking out that I might be failing my kids?
Well, first of all, I think it's a really normal thought for
Mm,
a trauma surviving mama to have, especially if she's aware of the healing work that she needs to do, but
mm,
isn't quite sure where to start. I know I've had that thought, like, "Oh no, am I screwing my kids up? Like, are they inheriting my issues?" But then giving yourself grace and
mhm,
understanding you're not broken, you're wounded. Your nervous system is trying to protect you the only way that it knows how. And your kids are resilient little people. And there's power in repair. As long as you're showing up every day, giving it your best, when a mistake happens, take accountability,
mhm,
apologize, do the repair, and keep going every day, putting your best foot forward. Get connected to a good community, a trauma informed community,
mhm.
and make sure that your kids know that you love them, because at the end of the day, that's what matters.
That's wonderful. I love that, it's very encouraging that we and we will fail at some
Mhm.
point. We will lose our cool, but it doesn't have to end there. There is always that chance for repair. Now, you also offer a companion workbook and a free
Mhm.
digital portal. What kind of support do these extras provide?
So, in the companion workbook, there are prompts
Mm-hmm,
and journaling activities that you can work through as you read through the book
mm-hmm,
to take what you learn and what you glean from the book even further. And then inside of the book bonuses portal, you get access to different breathing technique audios. I believe there is like a mental rehearsal of life in that responsive parenting mode. So
mm-hmm,
we're practicing moving out of survival mode into connective parenting. Um, I think there's some affirmations, all kinds of goodies in there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, where can people connect with you and find out more about the support or the healing journey if they needed to be, even if they wanted to be part of your community? How can they reach out to you?
So you can find me on Instagram, emily.mamahoodaftertrauma. And you can also find me on my website, mamahoodaftertrauma.ca.
Wonderful. And lastly, if readers take just one message away from Breaking Free, what do you hope it will be?
You're not broken.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Emily. Thank you for sharing your heart and your healing, your journey, your hard-won wisdom with us today. Breaking Free is such a beautiful gift to every mom navigating trauma, triggers, and transformation. So, to everyone watching, this book is your companion. This will be your coach, and this is a quiet reminder that you are not alone. Healing doesn't require perfection; it just simply requires willingness, compassion, and the right support. Breaking Free is now available in both ebook and paperback on Amazon. So please go ahead and grab your copy today. Thank you again, Emily.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks, everyone.